Alright guys, so we are just going to start taking this thing apart. Again, I pretty much just zip tied this together and I'm just going to start unsnipping it, but kind of while I was going over it all, taking it all off, I just wanted to say, you know, I was hoping that this was the case. I was coming home, it was dry in here, there was minimal issues out there, and you know, in that aspect I got lucky, but I did what I didn't really get on video, which is kind of funny, but I told you guys I paid around 130 bucks for this material, and I said in the video I thought my neighbors were going to think I'm crazy, but around 9:30, 10 o'clock when I was buttoning this up, a neighbor I never met stopped at the end of the driveway and was like, "Hey man, I saw you starting this whole thing. I was wondering what was going on." And he said, "What is this that you're doing?" Because he had a, I guess he has a AMG Mercedes that he didn't want to get any damage. And again, the way that storm was tracking, it was supposed to hit us. And I told him, you know, I picked this stuff up at Lowe's. It was a, this stuff is used for concrete as like a moisture barrier, but it's waterproof and yada yada. But I picked up at AAM and it was like the last one on the shelf. So he was kind of bummed out, and I was like, "Wait, hold on, I think I got some left over." And I gave him whatever I had left, and he was just like so thankful. I never met the guy before, and he asked me, "Hey, what did this stuff cost?" I was like, "It was only 120 bucks." So he reached in his wallet and gave me 100, and I was like, "Whoa, no, just take that, just go take care of your car." And he was just like, "Nah, man, you did me a solid. You don't know me. You just handed me over this stuff to help me out. Just take this." And I was going back and forth with him for like 2 minutes, and he just kept insisting, gave me the 100 bucks, and then he, you know, went home. And I was just like, "That's crazy." But and then he sent me a picture, and his car, he actually did a really nice job. I think he trimmed his up a lot better. But his car, just, same thing. He did exactly what I did. Put it out, laid it out, drove it up, wrapped it up, and was sending me pictures because I gave him a business card, and was just like, "Hey man, I super appreciate it. The car's, you know, I feel a lot better, and thank you for doing that for me." And again, same thing. He just hopefully today or sometime this morning just took the stuff off the car and got it back, you know, and threw it all away. But this stuff came in clutch, you know. Again, I really think if this was a little thinner, this is the 6 mil. If I went with like the 2 or the 4, I think it would have been a lot easier to manage. But regardless, this would have worked. This stuff here is super tight, watertight. But like I was saying, we're just gonna go through the one car and just take this all off and get this thing back on the, pretty much back on the ground normally. That's what it should be. Again, man, these sure, most of the people watching this are car guys, and you can never have enough zip ties in the garage, and that's exactly what I use to pretty much get this thing tied up here. Yeah, I was at work for, I don't know, I'd say every bit of almost 3 days, and we started doing the evacuations, and then pretty much getting the city ready for what we thought was going to be mayhem on the place. Again, I don't know what it is. If you guys moved to Florida, Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, Pasco area, I don't know what it is, but when that storms are always coming through that side of the Gulf, it always goes north or south. So we get lucky, but again, I don't take any chances. And that's like probably the last like 5 years. But they were certain this year that this thing was going to hit us. And again, last minute, it just dipped down and, you know, started heading south. So we got lucky, but again, I do feel bad for everybody who wasn't there. You know, I hope you guys are okay. Anybody down south. So. debating on, you know, keeping this stuff, but if I ever have to do this again, like I said, this is super, super thick. I'll dial it down. I'll try the 2 mil or that 4 mil and see if that will work a little better. I'm hoping I never have to do this again, to be honest with you. And for what this costs and how much you get, I could have done at least 3, possibly 4 parts. She's home, she's safe, and there's no water. That's what I wanted most out of this thing to, you know, again, you know, this one does have more mileage on it than that one. And I am very, you know, this one's probably not worth as much as that one. You know, people say there's no money in, you know, modifications, but this car has a lot of money in it, and this wasn't an overnight, you know, build for me. This is something that's been 10 years in the making. Like I said before, my kids have grown up in this car. My kids appreciate this car, and it's kind of like a family thing. That my daughter always asked me to take her to school in this, drop her off at her school dances, you know, her cheerleading, when she's cheering at the football games or whatever. And it's just something that, you know, that my kids have grown to love. Probably not as much as me, but super close. And they didn't want anything to happen to this. You know, the mineral gray car, which we'll get unwrapped here in a minute. Yes, it's got low miles. It's, you know, the unicorn. It's, you know, got it's bone stock. There's nothing done to it. But I was really worried about this car, man. I didn't want to see anything happen to it. And this storm kind of scared me a little bit because it was gaining some strength and just coming, like was dead straight for that Tampa Clearwater area. And for whatever reason, again, last minute, that thing just button hooked a little bit and, you know, went south. And like I said in the other video, I was really hoping to just do this. Take this thing apart, back it out, throw the stuff away, and it be for nothing. And I'm glad that that's what it was. But again, I was really worried about this, man. It's just like I'd be heartbroken if something happened to this car. I sometimes I get paranoid driving it just because of, God forbid, somebody pulls out in front of me or whatnot, and this thing gets damaged in any way. I would do my best in any case, even if flood. I would rebuild this car. I wouldn't let it go, and it's super partial to me. This car has helped me out, and you know, it's just my personal life. You know, some of the stuff I've gone through with, you know, relationships or work or school or whatever. I've always gotten in this car and just taken a ride, and just the stress of just whatever my issue was seemed to go away with this thing. And I owe a lot to this car, and that's why I was going above and beyond what I could to make sure nothing happened to her. And I'm glad that, like I said, I can't say it enough, I'm glad that storm went the other way. But as much as I am happy about that, I hate saying it because that means somebody else was affected. And again, I don't want to see that happen either. And it's unfortunate that we get these storms here, and 2 back to back like that was just crazy. And I think everybody was on edge from the last one we had, because we had, you know, some areas where I'm working, there was water up to, you know, your chest. And, you know, they thought that this was going to do the same thing and then more. But we'll pause it here. I'll get this thing out of here. I'll start dropping that one. You guys don't have to watch that process. But definitely watch the end of this video. I am going to throw in some of that footage of that storm getting super close, and the winds were like, I think they were hitting us about 60 to 80 miles an hour. And where the storm was going through, and there's just a lot of trees down. A billboard got blown over. I mean, not just a billboard. I mean, the thing just came out of the ground. It was one of those big steel ones. You know, it wasn't like some wooden one that's been 100 years old. It was one of like the newer style ones, and the wind caught that, took it out, and almost landed on a business. So it's just crazy going down the road seeing some of the stuff that's going on. But like I said, we'll pause this. We'll get that thing unwrapped, and then we'll start pulling these out and get my garage back to normal. So stand by. All right, guys, we're back real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of start taking this up so you guys can see just how much of material this is, and kind of just see what you got to work with if you decide to go this route. Also, apologize for the video, the audio in the first half of this video. I keep forgetting I bought these things. I'm so used to not using them, and I'm trying to come up with, you know, better videos, better quality, and put some effort into it. So I went ahead and picked up some of these microphones, and I just keep forgetting to use them. So hopefully the audio is a little better on this end of it. So we'll go from there. But again, guys, this is like the length of the driveway, which is, I don't know, maybe 20 feet or so, maybe 25, somewhere around there. And going through it, I definitely feel like I could have trimmed this up. Kind of did what I did, the same thing, go extra, because once you kind of cut it, you can't go back from that. Go extra like I did. And then as I'm maneuvering it on the car, just kind of trim it up in you know, more or less of making it fit a little better. Because again, like that, my neighbor that ended up doing this with his, I was like, man, his car looks like, you know, he had like a professional out there wrapping that thing like it was a present, and his looked way better than mine. But again, it worked. But again, I think I would do that, just get it laid out and then trim it from there. But also having the two cars in the garage made it a little more difficult. But again, obviously you can see it can be done. Go ahead and just get this stuff here all wrapped up. You can just see how much this is. And again, this is so thick. It just doesn't, it wasn't as easy to maneuver as I thought it was, but it is what it is. It worked. So we got it done with it. But anyways, one car's done. Gonna get this out of here. I'm gonna try to find some place to dump this too, because it's just gonna fill up my garbage can. There's just no way that this is gonna fit, especially with the two. So I'll find a spot to dump this, and then hopefully never have to use it again. But it is what it is. It worked. So, but I'm gonna start taking that one down. Like I said, again, I just want to show you guys. I know I'm short. It is what it is. But this is a big old pile of mess here, and it is intimidating when I was doing it, rolling it out, and then trying to get it, you know, on the car and fit somewhat good. That, you know, again, this stuff was so thick. It didn't maneuver like I thought it was. And I saw the thick stuff. I went right for it. And again, bigger is not always better. In this case, this was really thick. And again, it had water hit that. Again, I totally believe that would have worked. But I would have liked to have just cleaned it up, in a sense of not having so many of these, you know, folds, you know, up in here where maybe the water, if there was water to come in, where it would, you know, get by that. But I do believe that would have worked. So we'll get this out of here, get that one undone, and then we'll keep filming here. All right, guys, we are back, and it's all, again, just zip tied. I had some painter's tape up on there, which came off, again, super easy. But I'm just going to repeat the whole process here. Just take this down like it is, flatten it out, back it out, roll it up, and get it out of here, and then get my garage back to being normal. But again, I will add some of that footage to the end of the video, so you guys can kind of check out and see what it was like. It was pretty intense. That was pretty much mid hurricane. It was about 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half before it actually made landfall, but we were getting so much wind, it was crazy. And that was around 10 p.m. So it just, again, I can't stress enough, we got so lucky with that thing moving south like it did. But the cars are cool, the cars are safe. And also, I want to shout out to everybody who had messaged me, you know, some of the kind stuff you guys were saying. Really appreciate it. Never met really any of you guys. I feel like I have a good little following on here. I keep getting the same people messaging and commenting on the videos. So again, shout out to you guys. I do appreciate it. I am coming up with something for the channel that I'm going to be doing a little giveaway on for you know, the subscribers and stuff. So I'm kind of working on something right now. Give me a couple of weeks. We'll get that together and get that out there. It's nothing huge, something little, and something to say thanks, but I do appreciate it. That it does mean a lot. You know, these cars I've met some of my best friends through these cars, actually all my cars. And it's the community that I've been a part of since I was a kid. My kids are now a part of it. So I do appreciate it, guys. And the kind words and you guys just kind of sending some prayers out for me. I do appreciate it. But again, stick to the end. Check out that. Again, it's probably 20, 30 seconds. It's nothing crazy. But just the intensity of what we were seeing and dealing with. And that was really the beginning of it. I didn't get the rest of it because I was just so busy doing other stuff. But I appreciate it. We'll get back to filming some normal stuff here in a couple days. I'm back at work tomorrow, and then maybe going out of town. I'm not even sure yet because they kind of canceled our vacations. But we'll get back to some normal filming, and I really want to get the car out and do some rides with these things. But again, guys, I appreciate it. Chris, SVT Garage. Thank you guys for everything. Until the next one.
Street.